Hello, my name is Logan Wampler and I'm doing my oral presentation for my language arts class. Have you ever heard of a video game called Halo? Well, I'm going to assume no. Halo is an Xbox exclusive game that almost any gamer knows, and it is a game I know very well. Halo was the first video game I ever played, and I was 3 years old. I still play it to this day, and I see it the same exciting game as when I was 3. And it is an immersive and marvelous masterpiece of a series that continues to this day. The game is full of luscious green trees, silver spec ops squads, standard blue elites, and who could forget about the Green Marines and Master Chief. The main characters of the game is the Master Chief, John 117. John was kidnapped as a child and trained throughout his childhood to be a super soldier, a Spartan. His training was mental and physical, as well as synthetics were used to enhance the children to become superhumans. John eventually was used by the UNSC or military to save humanity. In the game, you play as Master Chief, fighting aliens to once again bring the universe to peace. The game is full of fun objectives and limitless possibilities, as well as being exhilarating when it comes to gameplay. And it has many other enjoyable aspects. The Halo series will go down as one of the greatest of all time, at least for Xbox. John 117, or Master Chief, is the overall main character of the Halo franchise. He was abducted by the UNSC from his home world located on the outer colonies in the Milky Way. John was taken to Reach, where he trained under the UNSC and his mentor, Senior Chief Petty Officer Mendez. The number 117 was his Spartan identification number. There were about 300 total in the Spartan 1 program. By the end of the program, about 100 remained. John was teamed with what was later called Blue Team, which at the time consisted of Fred, Kelly, Samuel, and John. The team has changed over the years due to the Spartans dying by being sent on suicide missions throughout the game and books. In other words, the Spartans were expendable. By the end of the training, before they go to Earth to receive their armor, the Chief was given the rank of Master Chief, which is the highest rank obtainable while in training, meaning his name, Master Chief. Halo 1. As you begin to play the game, you'll experience a small tutorial showing basement movements and abilities, which is very important to learn. As the game begins, you start off on a big spaceship. Almost immediately, the ship is attacked by an unknown alien race, later known as the Covenant. The whole ship is then ordered to evacuate using escape pods. The closest mast near the ship is an unidentified ring, so the escape pods have no other option but to land on the ring's surface. After landing, the survivors discover that it is a planet like Earth, but it is quite foreign. Their objective becomes to find a way off the ring. During the game, you search for ways off the planet, and the survivors use armored vehicles such as warthogs, flying crafts, tanks, and much ammunition in fighting the alien race trying to escape. During their battles, they uncover an ancient civilization called the Forerunners. The Forerunners were not pleased with the humans being on the ring, so in an attempt to cleanse them off the ring, the Forerunners released a parasite known as the Flood, which quickly spread across the entire ring. All remaining survivors made their way to the crashed ship, which they had evacuated from earlier in the game, to detonate the reactor inside to blow up the entire ring. And eventually they made their way to the ship, managed to destroy the reactor, and the remaining survivor, which at this point was only John 117, as all others had died during the battle for the ship. He escaped on what was called a longsword into outer space to head back to Earth. Halo 2. You start off in subspace in the outer in a space station, in the outer atmosphere of Earth. You are given a basic tutorial of movements and controls. Then Master Chief, which you are playing as, is escorted to a conference, which is awarding you a Purple Heart for surviving and destroying the Halo ring. During the conference, the station is attacked by the Covenant. The people on board figure out that the Covenant had planted a bomb, which is later shot out of the ship. You then travel down to Earth to fight through the streets to protect the biggest city, which the Covenant targeted. During this time, a shipmaster for the Covenant is deemed Arbiter, which is the alien version of the Master Chief. He is then sent to destroy a mining station in the outer colonies of space that was infected by the Flood. They are successful. The Chief is boarded back into his ship and followed one of the Covenant's ships into subspace, which is light-speed travel. They then discover, after coming out of subspace, that there's another Halo ring. The Chief is sent to kill a prophet of the Covenant on the ring and is successful. He is then abducted by the Flood Gravemind, which is a big blob of knowledge. The Arbiter is betrayed by the Covenant on a mission to kill Flood on the Covenant homeworld, High Charity. The Gravemind abducts Arbiter as he falls 300 feet and was saved. The Gravemind then talks to them both, telling them that they must fire the Halo ring, killing all sentient life within 300 light years to stop the Flood. They decide they have no other choice but to try. The Chief is sent to High Charity, and the Arbiter is sent to the ring's control room. The Chief is put on a ship and sent into subspace after High Charity is overrun by the Flood and is forced to evacuate. The Arbiter is successful in his mission to take control of the center. He does not fire the ring as it was what the Gravemind wanted, as High Charity goes into slipspace 400 light years away, carrying the Gravemind with it. Halo 3. A year passes by and Chief comes out of slipspace and falls out of the ship and hits Earth. He is healed by the Arbiter that is teamed with the humans. They fight to hold Earth, as it is still under siege by the Covenant. During this time, High Charity appears and falls onto Earth. Flood start taking Earth over from parts of Europe to Australia. The Covenant split as the leaders are killed, and the different species of Covenant hate each other. Half of what the Covenant used to be teamed with humanity, including the elites, grunts, and hunters. The Chief travels to the Ark with the Covenant to find a way to beat the Flood. The Ark controls and made all Halo rings. The Ark gave them an answer, which was another Halo ring, designed after the one the Chief had destroyed. The New Alliance takes control of the new ring and decides the only option was to destroy and explode the reactor of High Charity. They are successful, and destroys Earth in the process. Everyone is evacuated beforehand, except for Chief and Arbiter. They escape with only seconds to spare on Chief's ship, the Forward Unto Dawn. It is cut in half, which is unknown if the Arbiter survives, as he is in one half, which jumped into slipspace, landing on Onyx. Chief gets into a cryopod and is frozen to sleep. Halo 3 ODST. This game is during the process of Halo 2 and 3 in between, when the Covenant first attack the biggest city. A group of Special Forces troops are deployed onto Earth to stop them. The game is all about walking around the city, finding clues on where the Covenant are and where they could go next. In the end, they evacuate the planet as they are unable to hold back the Covenant. Halo 4. This Halo starts with Chief awakened by his AI companion Cortana. They find out they have been asleep for 4 years and have drifted out of known space and are right next to a huge metal planet. The Covenant attacks them, but not before Chief launches a missile at one of their ships, destroying it. The planet opens the metal and sucks them and everything in. They figure out they are on a planet called Requiem. They fight their way to a group of UNSC that are stuck on the planet as well. They are then attacked by an ancient alien race called the Prometheans, which were a creation of the Forerunners. They then find a way to defeat the Prometheans and follow them to Onyx. The Forerunners travel to Onyx. They start to drill into the planet from space. So Chief takes a nuclear device to them and blows it up manually. Cortana, last moment, saves him, putting him into a one-man subspace, putting him onto Onyx, sacrificing herself. Halo 5. Chief is deployed with a team he has known since childhood, going on various generic missions. The team is a blue team. Agent Locke is dispatched to rescue a doctor from a plant which the Prometheans in the new remake of the Covenant are fighting. They rescue the doctor as soon afterwards they are given a horrible mission. The Chief is sent to blow up an unused space station in which he figures out Cortana is alive through a vision. He is told to go back to Onyx. He refuses to and goes rogue to go after Cortana, with the rest of Blue Team following behind him. Locke's team is ordered by the UNSC to kill the Master Chief and Blue Team. They fight their way through Sanghelios, which is the Elite's homeworld, which the Arbiter is currently on, fighting against the new remaking of the Covenant. They figure out Cortana is trying to make a version of the Halo ring called Guardians to bring peace to the galaxy by ending all sentient life. Locke and Chief team up to stop Cortana, which in the end they are successful, sending her into deep slope space. Halo Reach. This Halo is a year before Halo 1 and focuses on a Spartan team called Millwall. They go to Reach and discover the Covenant, and they start fighting throughout the planet. One by one, each member is killed in each very mission, and eventually leads to the destruction of Reach and all members of Noble Team dead. The Halo games fill in some blanks that the books simply did not, and the same could be said about the books compared to the games. There are 9 Halo games total, spanning across about 25 years in the making, including one I did not mention, which was Halo MCC. I did not mention that because it just contains all of the previous Halo games. There's so much more I could say about the games. The characters you play mainly are John 117, Arbiter, and Agent Locke across all games. The environments are almost unlimited as they are diverse, as you can think of. From space, trees, water, aliens, all of the things are very different and plentiful. The lore of the franchise is so large it's amazing. I could spend almost the rest of my life exploring the wondrous world of Halo. There's just so much more, just like the Star Wars franchise, to explore that is virtually impossible to write about. I look forward to seeing what more they add to it, to the franchise, because I never get tired of looking into it and learning new things about it. The Halo series has definitely been one of my favorite ever kind of series, and I continue to keep playing the series for as many as they make. In 2019, they're set to release Halo Infinite, which is the newest game to come out. I'm pretty excited for that one. The Halo series will go down as one of the greatest games of all time, for gamers at least, and I certainly hope that's the case. As the franchise continues to grow with new games and new books, the following of people that love it will also continue to grow. I recommend it if you're curious about learning and experiencing the game. You might begin looking up some lore and information about the series online, just like some of the things I've, covered in the presentation. There are also Halo books that you could read that will immerse you into the world and will definitely pique your curiosity about the games and the whole lore behind it, and the rest of the universe. There is also a couple of movies inside of the universe. I would recommend watching them. And next and obvious step would be to play the games. I find myself replaying the games over and over and rereading the books and researching new lore and old lore all the time. Like I said before, there's just so much to experience while playing that a person can get lost in all of it. It's amazing graphics and storyline, plot. If I was a critic rating Halo and comparing it to other